evening and welcome. Thanks for joining us. My name is Julia Autel, standing in for your regular host, Akin Agbejule. One story perfectly fits the center stage of this week's package, capturing the current perspective about the NNPC and its mandates of becoming a world-class oil and gas company. NNPC, using AKK gas pipeline project with the unflinching support of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari to boost domestic utilization of natural gas in the country. Check out the details in the package. Guess who has been speaking on the impact of NNPC's contributions to mitigate the effect of coronavirus pandemic in the country? Nigerians on the streets. Still to come, do you know how many GNDs the NNPC has had since inception? Stay with us.
I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing, but I'm not very surprised because every organization that I know is as strong as its leadership. And today I know that the NNPC is definitely under strong leadership.
Let's take responsibility to stop the spread of the virus. Wash your hands frequently with soap under running water for about 20 seconds. Or use a hand sanitizer where water and soap are not available. Cough or sneeze into a tissue and dispose properly. Or cough or sneeze into your elbow.
Avoid large gatherings. Keep physical contact to no less than 2 meters and wear a mask whenever you are in a public space.
Clean all surfaces frequently with disinfectant. And if you develop symptoms like frequent cough, sneezing, fever, or shortage of breath, call your state emergency number or NCDC's toll-free number on 0800 9700 0010. Take responsibility. Do it for yourself and the rest of us. This message is brought to you by the NCDC and funded by the NNPC IPPG team, an association of indigenous oil and gas producing companies.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has saved the sum of 125 million United States dollars for the federal government by putting paid to the fraudulent scheme of an international crime syndicate that wanted to defraud the country. A statement by Afe Babalola & Co., the law firm representing NNPC, stated that the fraudulent scheme, which was hatched by Messrs. Ramirez and Mr. Jose Salazar Tinajero and their company Samano Sadesivi, began in 2015. The fraudsters had contacted officials of the federal government of Nigeria with information that 48 million barrels of Bonny light crude oil, allegedly stolen from Nigeria, was stored in various ports and terminals in China. They offered to purchase the alleged stolen crude upon its recovery. Upon being contacted by officials of the federal government to verify the existence of such stolen crude oil, NNPC immediately swung into action, even though the claim was difficult to believe, considering the elaborate structure it had put in place for handling crude oil export operations. Investigation carried out by the corporation indicated that there was no stolen Nigerian crude oil stashed anywhere in China, and Samano was also not able to provide any evidence regarding the alleged stolen crude oil. To make assurance doubly sure, the federal government also sent relevant officials to China to verify the claim of the existence of stolen Nigerian crude oil stashed away in that country. They also discovered that Samano's claim was false and baseless, and the federal government severed communications with the syndicate. They said Mr. Ramirez and his cohorts have since been charged to several courts in Nigeria for criminal offenses ranging from fraud, forgery, extortion, blackmail to conspiracy. A constitutional lawyer and anti-graft crusader, Ibrahim Idris, has described the alleged missing 48 million barrels of crude oil by Samano SA against the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) as a big hoax and baseless accusation that does not make any logical sense. Idris made this known during a guest appearance on NTA Network News at 9 p.m. on Friday in Abuja.
And my unimpeachable conclusion is that it's false, blatant falsehood, and it's baseless. And the reason is not far-fetched. Why I concluded that way. There are a lot of missing links. Okay. There are gaps in the whole story line that from a discerning mind won't be able to arrive at the conclusion that this is just one of the international syndicate scam in operation.
He maintained that the oil and gas business structure has an established procedure that makes it impossible for 48 million barrels of crude oil, which is equivalent to Nigeria's 1 month crude oil production, to just disappear without any record or trace from the shores of the country.
How come? We're talking about 48 million barrels of oil. At this particular point in time, the Nigerian daily export was in the region of below 1.6 million. 48 million barrels of oil will translate to the total monthly production.
The Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Mele Kyari, has said that the flag-off of the 614-kilometer Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano AKK gas pipeline would not have been possible without the full and unflinching support of His Excellency Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari. President Muhammadu Buhari, since assumption of office, has reinforced investment in gas infrastructure, which sooner than expected would boost domestic utilization of natural gas. One of such is the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline, which is a section of the Trans-Nigeria Gas Pipeline, TNGP, with a capacity to transport about 2.2 billion cubic feet of gas per day. President Buhari said the delivery of the 614-kilometer Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano AKK gas pipeline project is part of his administration's next-level agenda for sustainable development and economic prosperity of Nigeria.
When completed, the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline project will provide gas for generation of power and for gas-based industries, which would facilitate the development of new industries and also the revival of moribund industries along transit towns in Kogi State, FCT Abuja, Niger State, Kaduna State, and Kano State.
He noted that harnessing and commercializing the nation's vast gas reserves was an enabler for rapid economic development and diversification of the economy, saying that this remained a cardinal objective of his administration to work and ensure a stable, sustainable, and more prosperous future for the citizenry.
This landmark project is being developed at a critical time in Nigeria's commitment to increasing our infrastructure assets. We promise the nation that we will expand the critical gas infrastructure in the country to promote the use of gas in the domestic market.
The President called on the governors of Kogi, Niger, Kaduna, and Kano states, as well as the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, to provide the enabling environment and support for the project. The engineering, procurement, and construction contract EPC of the project, which was awarded by the Federal Executive Council in 2017, had a completion period of 24 months and defect liability period of 12 months. The AKK Gas Project is a component of the Nigerian Gas Master Plan, a gas infrastructure blueprint which was approved by the Federal Executive Council in 2008, but which has received serious attention of the Buhari administration, leading to the flag-off of the project. The other major domestic gas transmission systems are the Western System, that is the existing 36-inch Escravos-Lagos Pipeline 1 and 2, with 2.2 billion cubic feet of gas per day capacity, and the ongoing east-west connection via the Obiafo-Become-Oben Pipeline OB3, featuring 2.4 billion cubic feet of gas per day capacity. The Senate Committee Chairman on Petroleum Upstream, Senator Basi Albert Akpan, said the AKK project would go a long way in improving the standard of living of Nigerians.
I have confidence in Mele Kyari because he has also briefed us on the activities in getting gas into this pipeline. So we are not only building a pipeline, we are also developing the gas to make sure that the pipeline will be well thoroughly fed for the good of all humanity and the country as a whole.
Speaking on the significance of the AKK project, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timi Presilva, said the project would open up a development corridor linking the north to the southern part of the country, stressing that the AKK project would serve as the backbone for several investment opportunities.
So this now is a development corridor, a development backbone. We expect that along that corridor, all kinds of investments will now commence. We're expecting fertilizer projects, gas-based industries like petrochemicals, power plants, and so on.
The AKK project, when completed, offers enormous economic and social benefits to the nation. It would unlock 2.2 billion cubic feet of gas to the domestic market, support the addition of 3,600 megawatts of power to the national grid, and revitalize textile industries, which alone boast of over 3 million jobs in parts of the country. In addition, the AKK project will support the development of petrochemicals, fertilizer, methanol, and other gas-based industries that will generate employment opportunities and facilitate balanced economic growth. On his part, the Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, thanked the NNPC, Ministry of Petroleum Resources, and other stakeholders for ensuring the flag-off of the project, stressing that there was high hope because of the enormous benefits the project would bring to the state.
We are very, very, very appreciative of the GMD NNPC who worked very hard under the able leadership of the Honorable Minister of State Petroleum Resources, my brother, His Excellency Timi Presilva, for making this a reality. But of great joy to me personally, the fact that the company constructing this has a Kaduna State citizen as chairman.
In his remarks, Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, who expressed gratitude to God for witnessing the flag-off of the construction phase of the AKK project, said his administration had sponsored many youths in the state to acquire skills in welding and urged the contractors to gainfully engage them.
We train several youths to ensure that they can weld and do some other allied industrial work. This is going to gainfully, be beneficial to them. Also, you cannot talk of industrial revolution without power, and this is exactly where Mr. President is here to us.
In his welcome address at the flag-off, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Mele Kyari, said that President Muhammadu Buhari has made it a priority to ensure that revenues from oil and gas resources are utilized to support the emergence and growth of other non-oil sectors of the economy.
So this event wouldn't have been possible without the full and unpleaded support of Your Excellency. That the current administration, under your leadership, has made it a priority to ensure revenues from oil and gas resources are utilized to support the emergence and growth of other non-oil sectors by building massive infrastructure.
He explained that the EPC contract for the 614-kilometer AKK gas pipeline project was awarded at a total contract sum of $2.592 billion to Messrs. Oilserv PLC / China First Highway Engineering Company, Oilserv / CFHEC Consortium, for the first segment covering 303 kilometers and Messrs Brentex Petroleum Services, China Petroleum Pipeline Bureau, Brentex CPP Consortium for the second segment covering 311 kilometers under a debt equity financing model with loan from Bank of China and Sinojor to be repaid through the pipeline transmission tariff and supported by a sovereign guarantee.
So this is a clear demonstration that AKK is real, and I'm so happy that I'm part of this very, very important project for nation building.
On his part, the managing director of OilServe, Engineer Emeka Okwosa, said the AKK project would further boost the gas infrastructure network in the country.
When you pipe this gas, you have gas flowing through, will go to industries, go to power plants. There are tariffs to be paid to even transport this gas. If you understand the mechanism of gas transportation, for every cubic meter of gas that passes by, there is an amount that is paid by those who use it.
Also for the Brentex CPP Consortium, Mr. Sani Nuhu Abubakar, who is the Vice Chairman of Brentex Petroleum Limited, reportedly said the consortium would rely mainly on the acclaimed pedigree and global expertise of CPP in pipeline construction to deliver a world-class project.
We have laid together over 125,000 kilometers of pipeline all over the world, in all manner of terrain, applying various sizes of pipes.
OilServe is one of the contractors handling the engineering, procurement and construction scope of these projects that we start from Ajaokuta, which is the beginning point, take it to Abuja, beyond Abuja. That's where our segment, which involves constructing 40-inch by 304 kilometers gas pipeline, and then there will be a spur line from Abuja Intermediate Picking Station into Abuja City. The actual work has commenced. You can see we've cleared, we've strung, we've started welding.
For the Zaria Emirate Traditional Council, the AKK is a socio-economic game changer.
The essence of this project is to aid the industrial development in our area, or in Nigeria in particular. If you can see, a lot of industries are dead, but with this gas project, everything will spring back. Then we will have more economic activity, more development.
The Buhari administration will ever be remembered for taking the practical step to ensuring energy security for the country by consolidating Nigeria's aspiration to have a national energy mix that works for the country and the entire citizenry. Similarly, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation management team, led by Malam Mele Kyari, which rapidly progressed preparatory works on the project, leading to the flag-off ceremony, also deserves commendation. Nigerians are hopeful that this efficient machine of a team will also galvanize speedily developments in other subsectors of the industry to enable the country to derive maximum benefits from the nation's hydrocarbon resources.
Good evening and welcome to the feedback segment of the program. I am Faith Ayuba. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, is leading an oil and gas industry-wide collaborative efforts to mitigate the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on Nigerians. This Petroleum Industry Intervention Fund attracted 21 billion naira, which is being used to fund medical interventions across the country's 6 geopolitical zones. We zoom to you comments of how Nigerians feel these medical interventions will impact the health of the people.
It is out there that NNPC has actually injected over 21 billion naira to the society in order to actually fight the impact of coronavirus on people.
I feel that what the NNPC have done for us is very nice, very helpful. The thing is that even though, let me say, the coronavirus goes now, the hospitals are still there for our comfort and for our health.
The funding done by NNPC I think is a very laudable project, and I think these are some of the initiatives that the Nigerian masses really need to boost the healthcare delivery.
The hospitals that are being built are not going to be demolished after the pandemic is over. You know, they are still going to be there for our use. They are still going to be there to help us, survive other, ailments and all that.
What they are doing now is quite commendable, and I think after the pandemic, to still help the masses, even after the pandemic, to carry them on.
I want to use the opportunity to thank the NNPC for the contribution they made to help the health workers in this country. They have done a good job. We pray that God should enlarge them to do more.
Indeed, health is wealth, and the NNPC led oil and gas industry-wide interventions to support the nation in combating COVID-19 pandemic will definitely promote the well-being of Nigerians. That's it on this segment. Please stay tuned for the other segments of the program.
Hello, glad to have you join us on this educative segment of the program. My name is Abigail Ojobo. Did you know that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has had 19 group managing directors till date? The vision of the NNPC is to be a world-class oil and gas company driven by shared commitment to excellence. The mission of the corporation is to be an integrated oil and gas company engaged in adding value to the nation's hydrocarbon resources for the benefit of all Nigerians and other stakeholders. Did you know that the core values of the NNPC are respect for the individual, staff development and growth, integrity, transparency, accountability and professional excellence? Now you know. Please stay tuned for the rest of the program.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil prices climbed after a surprise drop in United States crude inventories to offset concerns about United States fuel demand amid record increases in COVID-19 infections in some states. Brent crude futures were up by 18 cents or 0.4% at $43.40 per barrel, while United States West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures gained 12 cents or 0.3% to $41.16 per barrel. Inventories of crude oil in the United States dropped by 6.8 million barrels last week to 531 million barrels, data from Industry Group, the American Petroleum Institute showed. Analyst expectations were for an increase of 357,000 barrels according to United States government data during the week. But the raging COVID-19 pandemic is keeping alive concerns about falling fuel demand, causing an oversupplied market as record numbers of coronavirus infections are reported globally, including in the United States, the world's biggest consumer of oil. Meanwhile, daily reports from the market intelligence department of NNPC's London office indicates that Russian producers will export more crude oil in August, despite recent assurances from senior officials that the domestic market will absorb additional oil production as the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC Plus Alliance cuts down its production on August 1. And that's it on this segment of the program. I am Owigo Okolo.
And that's been the package on Oil and Gas Forum for this edition. Enjoy your week.